won the ticket. University of Michigan basketball hires Luke Yaklich and DeAndre Haynes as assistant basketball coaches. They've also elevated Chris Hunter to director of basketball operations. And the Miami Dolphins say knee surgery is very much an option for quarterback Ryan Tannehill, a procedure that could sideline him for the entire upcoming season. On the PGA Tour, the Bridgestone Invitationals, Jimmy Walker head by 2 shots at the midway point. Roy McIlroy 3-back. Jordan Spieth is 4 out. At the Ticket Update Desk, I'm Jeff Lesson. For more, 971theticket.com.
Good morning. Welcome to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. I'm your host, Harvey Freed. We've got an all-star panel this morning. To my right, Mr. Harry Glanz.
He knows that's my favorite intro music of all time.
Stuff.
Good morning. I love that hardcore rock. I need that. That's bad.
And it's not 70s rock, Harry, which is really
it's not 70s,
cool.
which my kids accuse me. Hey, Dad, you only listen to that
Harry,
70s and 80s
it's grunge,
stuff.
buddy.
I love grunge.
That's what it's called.
I love Seattle grunge. Thank you.
Generational
Nice.
gap. I'm here for you, buddy.
I appreciate that. Mr. Generation himself, Alex Nefouse from the Royal Oak.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Speaking of grunge, hi, Alex.
Hi, buddy.
How
What's
you
up,
doing,
man?
brother? You good?
I'm good, man. Yeah, we're my Capital Mortgage gear today. I got my Red Wings hat on.
Thank you.
I'm all good,
I
man.
appreciate that.
I'm here for you.
The sun is shining. We bring Lee Ehlers in from Remerica United. Lee, you are an outstanding real estate agent. You're fun to talk to. Welcome to our show.
Guys, thanks for having me. I can't tell you, it's probably the biggest dream I've ever had come true.
Well,
I hope that's not true.
Hey, Lee,
It's a sad life.
People often say that, but Lee was in the office the other day. He brings energy. He's solid. We like him. He's very enthusiastic about what he does, and that probably adds up to why he's real good at it.
Joe, I'm never going to get your name right. Of course, Joe Ermescu from our office, Capital Mortgage Funding. Joe, thanks for joining us also. Joseph, you're a sweetheart of a guy. I've only known you for a couple months now, but you seem like you came in a suit today, so you're definitely well prepared.
It's a pleasure being here, gentlemen, and you guys kick butt. Love the show.
Okay.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it.
We think that. We're going to be taking all the calls from the listeners out there at 248-539-9797. 1 hour of the Hardcore Mortgage Show, again, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. That's the number you call. You can get that sweet approval letter. It's a real approval letter, and that'll give you really the negotiations, the beginning of the negotiations, because when it says Capital Mortgage Funding, we've already at least done most of the underwriting on your file. We've run it through. We have the automated approval for you, and you're ready to go out there and make a real strong offer. Alex, that's key stuff. We're going to be talking about that all morning also.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, man. And when you make an offer, with our firm, and you've got a mortgage commitment letter from us, it's like Lee, we were talking before we went on the air. I don't want to waste my time or yours. I mean, there's way more fun stuff to do besides. Yeah, I mean, I'm just not going to do that. And, I talk to people, on a daily basis that are just they've got these approval letters that are just they're worthless.
Well, and sometimes it could be an approval letter, but if you haven't sat down and really discussed the plan with your mortgage banker, we see it often that you just don't have your funds together. You might be a person that can get approved, but there's a lot of things you could do ahead of time, and we'll talk about those things this morning also. Maybe a few things you can do to improve your credit score if you're thinking about purchasing a house. Be prepared. Maybe move your credit score. Maybe just move it up a little bit and get that little bit better interest rate. So there are things out there that families have to do to prepare themselves for a mortgage. We see it daily, Harry. Again, even paying off. I was going to say, just to wrap it up, just even paying off a land contract, you have to be prepared a year later and make sure you're prepared to pay that off.
Yeah, but I think the key is, and Lee can tell you this better. He's out in the real world. We're within our four walls, and I like it that way because we're pretty safe in our world.
I'm comfortable there.
And we run everything through. We run through our underwriter. We run it. We run all the financials. We look at the tax returns. We do it all up front. So when Lee calls us and says, "Hey, listen, your buyer, Dr. and Mrs. Smith, how does it look?" We say, "Lee, it's already done. Just find them a property."
Yeah. We're waiting on you, Lee.
Lee, we're on you, baby.
Lee, this purchase frenzy, it's going to continue. It's continuing here through August, and we don't see any slowdown, really. What's it like for you out there in the marketplace? What are you seeing?
Short answer, nuts. Long answer, super nuts. I mean, basically, what we're doing now is if you like a house, you need to pull that trigger, you need to jump on it, or it's gone. And the misnomer is that that's across the board, 0 to $1 million. But really, what we're really seeing is anything under about $350,000. So if you're in that price range, if you're the average buyer in Michigan, well, the reason you're average is because everybody else is in that price point. So it's really crucial. It's completely you have to do it. You have to be pre-qualified. You have to be ready to go.
Let me ask you a question, partner. Is there a shortage of houses, or is there a shortage of good houses?
Both. So what we're seeing right now
I was not expecting. Wow, I like this guy.
Yes.
Okay.
Boy, he covered that real quick.
Wow.
Yeah. The answer is what first happens is absolutely a shortage of houses. Well, then everybody that's ever wanted to sell thinks their house is worth $1 billion, so they threw it on the market. But not enough people did that either. So, I talk to everybody every day. They're like, I'm looking for a value. I'm looking for a flip. I'm looking for an investment property, anything. But those people aren't realistic. They didn't contact a good agent. They contacted the guy that maybe sold a house a year or hasn't sold any houses. Someone from,
the single soccer mom.
Exactly. And so they're like, I don't know, let's throw it up for this much. And they all agree and they're all happy and ecstatic. And then I go through with my buyer and it's like, well, this is worth $50,000 less than you think it is.
And it's not going to appraise out.
It's not going to appraise out. They're going to be. It's just not going to work. Even if it's a cash deal, it's just not worth it. If you're talking to a cash buyer, someone that can plop down $200,000, they're a smart investor. The reason they have that money is because they earned it. They earned it the right way.
They made some good plans ahead of time. Contingencies are rare in this type of marketplace because of the multiple bid offers. Also, it's tougher to get a seller's concession. Again, multiple bid offers. If the other offers are conventional loans and not asking for seller's concessions, it's going to be how to get that offer accepted. So again, it leads back to that plan. We talk about it consistently here, and I know you have the same feelings with us. Is it's really important to have the plan. I mean, an approval letter with a plan, and then you can go out there and really do some damage. If you're looking to buy a house and you're sick of paying your landlord's mortgage, then definitely get in touch with us. 248-539-9797. Multiple offers, again, Lee, on the hot properties. Less money down than ever before, really, to purchase a house. Still out there. USDA loans at 0 down, VA loans at 0 down. Conventional mortgages, we do a lot of the 3% down conventional mortgages. The rates are unbelievably low.
Some zero downs too, like rural development and VA loans. I mean, there's options out there. I mean, there's grant programs you can go. I mean, obviously there's some income limits, but there's options out there. I mean, it's really it's a good market right now. It's a good time to buy.
Well, gentlemen, we've been talking about it on the show, and Lee, it's good for you to confirm what we say every single week, and we have guests on every week, and certainly June, July, and August looks to be a very hot purchase month. The summer's been really, really good. What do you foresee? And I know we don't ask you to predict, but you're out there, you're on the streets, you're pounding the pavement. What do you foresee in the fall going into the winter?
Well, the biggest thing I see is the death of, everybody knows. So that's the biggest thing I deal with as a realtor is, everybody knows this is true or that's true. And the biggest thing I hear right now is, everybody knows after school's in session, after summer's over, then the market dips. Well, not this year, guys, because right now there was nothing on the market. So I have a backload of buyers who are just begging to buy, and they'll do anything. I'll knock on doors. I'll make calls. So this hot market is going to continue through the fall. So if you're somebody that says, I'll wait and see what's up, no, talk to your lender, talk to these guys right now, because this hot market is continuing. We got to pull that trigger. You have to be prepared.
When we say that, if you find a property that you like, you have to pull the trigger. And guess what? There's no guarantee the rates are going to stay this low. They're not going to stay this low forever. We know, as we've said, they're not going down to zero, right? Nobody's going to pay you an interest. Nobody's going to give you money for free. So why not pull the trigger on it? I believe it's that way for properties, too. You're the property guy. I'm going to stay in my lane as the mortgage guy. I can only tell you from what we see is that if somebody finds a house, as Alex says, that it's on the market and it's in great shape, why wouldn't you pull the trigger, Lee?
So it's fear. Fear is really what's dominating a lot of people, and it can be a good thing.
That's a good thing, though.
Man. It can be a good thing, right? It's good if it's going to promote you to give us a call. It's a good thing if it's going to promote you to be prepared and be ready. It's not a good thing if it's going to stop you from action. So
it's cool. You as a buyer's agent, a lot of people don't know. Your time, I mean, it's you don't charge like a retainer to talk to somebody. It's free. So if you're debating buying a house, you can call these guys, and they'll spend time talk on the phone with you for half an hour, and it doesn't cost you a dime.
Yeah. All right. You know what? Let's go to our first call this morning, 248-539-9797. We've got so much to share with you this morning. Keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket. Charles, calling in from Westland. Good morning, sir. Welcome to the show.
Hey, good morning. How are you, gentlemen?
Good morning, sir.
Charles.
I got a quick question. I'm calling for a friend who's at work. She got divorced about 10 years ago. They ran up a lot of credit that's still on her. She's paid off most of her stuff, and she keeps her bills paid up on time, but she still has that lingering from the divorce. She wants to buy a house in Westland about $97,000. She has the money. She has like a business, but she's concerned because her credit score is just a little over 6. If she would have a problem. And I told her about the show, but she's at work now.
That's okay. No worries.
And I told her, I said, well, you guys always come up with solutions. And I said, maybe y'all might be the key to her maybe coming in, sitting down with you, and y'all can kind of guide her through it. But cash is not the problem, but it's the credit score.
Yeah, I mean, a little over 6 isn't terrible. It's definitely workable. I have some great software I can run a credit report through. and it'll tell us what we have to pay off or pay down and the impact it'll have on her credit scores. So it could be as simple as paying up, a credit card or paying down a credit card balance. But
how can I get the direct information so I can give it to her so she can
Charles, I'll call you after the show. We get off at 10 o'clock, so I'll call you and I'll give him an email address and all that stuff. Did you leave your email with our producer?
Yes, I did.
I'll be in touch after the show, sir.
Okay, thank you so much.
That's
Thanks, man.
a great call. Always. Actually, he stole my thunder a little bit. We have a minimum credit score program of 600. Again, it does work for some families out there. Compensating factors are a key. It's nice to have stronger credit scores, of course, but FHA loans with lower credit scores typically work for families. And again, you're talking minimal 3.5% down, so it's a great way to go.
Yeah, but why is that a great call? It's a great call because he just wants to go ahead and make sure that he's taking care of his friend.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you don't ask the question, you're not going to get the answer.
Exactly.
You have to inquire. You have to really do your due diligence. And you have to make sure that the people you're talking to are looking out for your best interest, and certainly for us, as you said, it's not a situation where we ask you for money up front. Okay, realtors don't ask you for money up front. We, as a lender, now some lenders ask you for money up front. We're not that lender. We don't take any money
hostage
up front.
fee.
Yeah, we call it the hostage application fee. All right, so we don't do that. That's not our program. So we'll do whatever we have to do up front. And talking to Lee before the show. He's on the street. He's a street guy just like we are. He gets referrals like we do. He has to do a good job for the consumers just like we do. So he does business. So that's why he's on the street all day long. Lee, what kind of listings you got going on? What kind of action do you have? Tell us about the 9 transactions or pendings you've got going on this month. What's going on?
Yeah, so right now, like you said, 9 pendings on the board, which is pretty awesome. So keep that going through the summer and then the fall. Right now, the problem I'm having, it's definitely a first world problem, is that listings have sold so quick that we completely emptied our inventory. So what we're doing today is we're going to have an open house in Birmingham because it's pretty much the best house I've ever seen in my life.
Where is it?
It's at 680 Westwood Drive, and it's 1.1 million. So definitely make sure to bring out your pre-quals if you're there, or give these guys a call in advance to make sure that and we're not going to turn people away at the door.
I know this house. This is sweet. That's an awesome house. I know exactly where it is.
It's official baller status. I'm
yeah, 100%. It's a sweet house. Yeah. I know exactly where it is.
We'll be there from 12 to 3 today, so you can talk to me there if you don't have a chance to call in. But this type of thing where, again, that's what buyer comes in. Buyer is going to say, what do we need to do to get this house? We can talk, we can make moves, and we can connect you with the right guys. So, but yeah, other than that, it's the type of thing where my buyers are looking, they're pounding the pavement. So we're hitting the phones. We are doing door knocking. We're hitting a lot of subs right now. So,
all right,
awesome.
That's awesome.
You were joining the show 248-539-9797.
All right, when we come back, it's fun to buy a house. We're going to give you all the reasons why. Tons to share with you this morning. Keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket.
Hi, Harry Glanz and Danberg for Capital Mortgage Funding. We do loans everywhere. In Southfield, in Birmingham, in Royal Oak, in Grosse Ile, in Detroit, in Canton, in Northville. No matter where you live, we want to do your mortgage too. That's Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.
All right, welcome back to the show. You're listening to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. You can call us at Capital all week long, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker, always here live in the show.
I want to sign up for that golf outing they're having.
248-539-9797. Then there'll be some mortgage people there to talk to, which will be good. Maybe we can help some people
Beautiful.
out.
I love that.
Like golf outings.
I'm going to do that.
Definitely want to hear from you this morning. Brought Sherry Pazinski in from Keller Williams in Royal Oak. Sherry's awesome to talk to. Sherry, we were talking about setting up people for successful home ownership. And then Harry came in with the approval letter. And, of course, we always know that the beginning plan and making sure that you're approved in advance is the key. One of the things we do is we didn't really talk about is we literally run it through the DU, the automated underwriting system. It basically is the risk assessment, and it comes back and it will tell us if the client's approved or not. If they're not, then we can start working on things to fix them up. So very important still to this day, Sherry, that families really get in front of that mortgage person first and then meet them a real estate agent before they even go out and look at homes.
Well, that's a mistake a lot of these rookie agents are making. They're just taking people out, running around, looking at houses. Then they'll say, hey, what about a pre-approval? Well, some people should be working with Alex and yourselves long before they ever look at houses. I mean, a lot of renters right now don't even understand they could qualify, with the different programs that you have.
Yeah, truly, with minimal down and seller's concessions, it really doesn't take a whole lot of money to purchase a house. And as you know, still, a lot of the sellers out there are very willing, because the values are up, they're very willing to work with the buyer and even give $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, even up to $5,000 in seller's concessions, allowing that homeowner to get into the house for, a lot of times we see $5,000, $6,000, whatever it might be.
Exactly. So I showed a house yesterday in Sterling Heights for $260,000. My guy was considering buying that, and he's like, well, how much down will it cost me? I said, well, if we can get the seller concessions, just your down payment, and he's FHA. So, I mean, that's less than a $10,000 down payment to own a home in that kind of neighborhood.
Yeah, I mean, it's really not that difficult. I mean, people just, you have to educate your clients and walk them through it. And here, our job's not that hard. I think sometimes clients make it hard, or people involved in the transaction make it more difficult than it needs to be. Here, be honest and be nice. It's not that. It's not rocket science.
Yeah.
At home, in your car, or at work. Detroit's sports station. 97.1 The Ticket.
Welcome back to the show, 918. If you're just joining us, it's the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show. We're in our 17th year. Would you believe it? Just call Capital Mortgage Funding. We'll hook you up. 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.
You had hair when we started the show.
I did have some. I had a little more hair, Harry. Thank you. I appreciate it. Is it true that Michigan, they said in the news yesterday, Michigan's the hottest market in the country? It sure feels like it.
Well, the reason it is, Harvey, because remember, we were the first to go in the recession and the last to come out of the recession. So we had a long way to go. We've taken traction now the last 6 years. Last 6 years have been a very, very strong market. So, when you're doing good things and you do good things for a long period of time, people finally start to take notice.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Every client should definitely be prepped. Buying a house, I said, was fun. There's no doubt about it, Lee. It's a roller coaster ride. Even in the smoothest transaction, there's still a lot of facets of a transaction. Even them getting their homeowner's insurance, you got appraisals and inspections. There's a lot of people involved also. It truly takes, and I want your thoughts on this roller coaster, it truly takes a professional like you or somebody out there that can sort of smooth out anything. There's going to be some ups, there's going to be downs, but at the end of the day, you keep your eye on the prize, and most transactions do close in 30 days. Give me some thoughts on that, some of the emotions that we see, sometimes even after an inspection. Is it setting the expectations up front, or what do you find that works the best for you?
Yeah, I describe it like golf, man, where it's the type of thing where you'll have the greatest deal ever, you're excited, you're fired up, you're like, can't wait to get back in there, and oh, by the way, it didn't appraise. Or, oh, by the way, there's a ton of problems you could have never foreseen ever in that inspection. So it is a total roller coaster, one that goes up and down incredibly fast, and it takes a village. So it's the type of thing where something goes wrong, I might be able to fix it. If I can't fix it, I send it over to Joey, the mortgage guy, he fixes it. If he can't fix it, then my inspector will go back in. So you really have to have a realtor, you really have to have a mortgage guy that's been doing this for a while and really knows their stuff, so that when this goes through, I pretty much keep all of the crap away from my clients so they don't even know about it. So it's a roller coaster for me, but for them, it's pure bliss.
I think that's great.
That's a great point. Yeah.
That is a good point. The more you could take on your shoulders and the more that you can go ahead and be a problem solver instead of being in the way. Mm-hmm. What do you do? And you, Harvey, this is my favorite question.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, you know where I'm going with this. So, Lee, what do you do? Okay, it's a perfect transaction, but then all of a sudden the appraisal comes in low. What do you do then?
I did not prep them.
Well, the answer is it depends on the situation, depends on the client, and depends on what our goal is. So if I'm representing the seller and the appraisal comes in low, I'm representing it as if we have 20 backup offers. I'm actually fired up that it went low because I have cash buyers waiting in the wings. So we really put the screws to that buyer and we let them know that, hey, guy, here's my here's my release. I want you to sign it. You can't sign it fast enough because we want this backup offer. That usually freaks them out, and we can usually get some cash on the table, and we can usually proceed forward above price. If I'm representing the buyer, it's the exact opposite. We're going to see, do we want to contest this thing? Do we want that appraisal to go up, or do we want to get some free money off the purchase price, and we want to come in lower and get that in the house? So it really, really depends where we're at.
That was the right answer.
So you said the magic words. I like it. You use it as a negotiating tool either way.
Correct.
Dude,
okay, good.
We
so
lined up.
So you don't start blaming the lender.
We lined another realtor up a few weeks ago with that same question, and the first thing out of his mouth was, "I told him to call another lender." And so I haven't seen Harry get mad in years. You were legit. Yeah. Harry was legit mad.
Well, the reason is because you can't in this world nowadays, and I'm all for this. You can't shop appraisals. Okay, you cannot tell appraisers. That was the old days, and we never did it. But you can't tell appraisers, "Hey, bring it in at a certain price." We don't do that. As a matter of fact, we don't even talk to appraisers. So when I hear anybody say, "Hey, just go get another appraisal, just call another lender," that'd be like me saying, "Well, just call another realtor."
Right.
So, we don't do that. That's not. We stay in our lane, and that's our big saying around our office. We're just mortgage guys. We'll get that job done. We'll represent the client. We'll take care of all those things. So when I hear somebody say, "Well, just get another," hey, that appraiser is terrible. Get me comparables, okay? Do you meet your appraisers out at the house when they're called?
Yeah, 100% every time. It's the type of thing where it's my job to make sure this goes through. It's my job to give all the information to an appraiser. And I can't tell you how many times I've met an appraiser who's never even stepped foot in that city before. Not that house, not that sub, that city.
I have a huge problem with that.
Yeah, we're allowed to go ahead and have an appraisal board. And on that appraisal board, we try to get our representatives from, Wayne, Oakland, Macomb, Washington, Livingston County. We send representative appraisers out there that have been in that community. It just only makes sense. It's a smart move. I mean, why would I send somebody, to Livingston County that's from Macomb?
Yeah, they're not going to know
it.
They're not going to know what's
it's
going on.
It's something that the clients don't understand is that's why this team concept I bring up a lot is so important, because if I can't control your lender, I can't force you to use my guys. But if you don't use these ones right here, the pros, the true professionals, and you go get someone that's a hack job, he doesn't do any of that.
Oh, it happens all the time.
Yeah,
I wish it would stop happening.
That's a huge challenge
Let me throw the number out, 248-539-9797. We definitely want to hear from you. Lee Ehlers on from Remerica United. It's fun to have Lee in. Again, this brings a different energy to our show, which we really like. If we need even more energy, Lee, it's okay. You're helping us out. There's no doubt. Yeah, there's no doubt the American dream, it's part of home ownership. We're taught as Americans that if you work hard in life, that good things are going to happen. Home ownership has generally been a part of that. The dream is out there still. 72% of renters said, yes, they would want to buy a house. So that's the key out there. At some point in your life, if you're planning on staying here in Michigan, if you're living here, take a look at home ownership. We talked earlier about it. We talked often about it. All the different mortgage programs out there with minimal down. Also, not only is there minimal down programs, when I talk about 3 or 3.5% down, if you have qualified agents and mortgage people in your life, there's something called seller's concessions. Yeah, sellers can pay closing costs and escrow accounts and help you with your homeowner's insurance. Sellers can help you by paying some of your fees. And again, if they have a house that for whatever reason, maybe it's closer to the main road, for whatever reason their deficiencies are, they might be, and Lee, you can comment on this, they might be very susceptible to negotiations. And that's just the key. And I think that's what Alex has been talking
negotiable.
about. Yeah, what houses are still out there and how could it work for your particular needs? And again, I think you need professionals in your life to sort of point out why this house would work for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And so the big thing about the concession coverage is there's a couple different ways to do it. And everybody thinks right up front, like, I'm going to give them asking price, and then they're going to give me a bunch of money in this market. That's not always how it goes. Usually what we do is we might go a little bit over asking price, say 3% over, just to make the math easy, and they give 3% in concessions. You can't do that for every house. You can't do that for a house that's overpriced or overlisted. But that does happen. I've just done it right now with a client. And sometimes it's the type of thing where I'll have a buyer with special needs or special circumstances, or a seller with special needs and circumstances, and that's when you can make deals happen.
Right. So in other words, if a house is going to be sold for $200,000, potentially it could be appraised and sold at $205,000, and the seller can contribute that $5,000 towards the closing costs and prepaids. It makes it a win-win situation. They get what they need out of the house. At the end of the day, they're netting their $200,000. But again, it allows this buyer to get into the house, keep more money in his pocket, which they might need. You mentioned for even home improvements, or just even to get in the house and close. So again, having these true pros is really key. 248-539-9797. We got Jim out there in Westland. Good morning, Jim. Welcome to our show.
Jim, what's up, man?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you,
Morning,
sir?
How are you?
Good. I just had a couple quick questions. So we bought our first house with an FHA loan, put the 3% down, all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah.
But at the time I was told that we couldn't, we can only do one FHA loan, like, ever, and that was it, and that type of deal. Is that true?
You can only have one FHA
Yeah,
loan.
you can only do one FHA loan at a time.
Okay.
So what's your situation right now?
Well, basically, we're trying to sell our house, or we're going to sell our house and, moving into something new. But, obviously I'd like to put 20% down, but that just might not be feasible with everything. And so it's just kind of looking at all options.
You don't have to do a second FHA loan, it doesn't sound like.
Right. Or if and when you sell that house and you want to do another FHA loan, we can take a look at it and put you in the best program. But the rule is you can only have one FHA loan at a time.
At a time. Okay.
At a time. So you can have another one once you sell this house if that has an FHA mortgage on it.
Sure. Okay. Now this one doesn't currently because we refied and all that. But
Okay.
So one other quick question, just about appraisal. Should I seek my own appraisal before I seek out a realtor or anything else to get the process going, just to kind of see where I'm at?
I think you talk to a realtor and they're going to do, and I'll let Lee answer this, but they're going to do what's called a market analysis. And that way you don't have to spend $400 for an appraisal. But in this market right now, Lee, why don't you go ahead and take over? In this market right now, a realtor is going to get you pretty close.
Yeah, so the way it works is the only time that an appraisal that you pay out of pocket for might be a good idea is if you own super specialty property. Say you have a farm with 20 acres, you don't have a neighbor within miles of you, you have lakefront, blah, blah. That's tough to comp. But if you live in a city where neighbors are active, pending, and sold, it's super easy for me to come in as an expert, and I can tell you what your house is worth, where we want to list it. Because, again, we might want to drive that price up anyway. So I'm not going to just tell you where it's at right now. I'm going to tell you where we're going to sell it at and other things that we need, especially if you have that specialty circumstance you're talking about right now with financing and all that. So absolutely 100% the answer is give me a call, have me come out, and we'll do that for 100%.
And it's a great question, too. Yeah, Jim, I like that idea, but I think the real estate agents are going to fill the gap in giving you the value. Potentially a home inspection being done on your house will point out all the things that need to be fixed on the house before you maximize the amount you're going to net from the sale of that property. It's a great call.
Awesome.
Jim, thank
Thanks,
you.
Jim.
We'll follow up with you. 248-539-9797. We'll be right back.
Did you know that our Southeast Michigan real estate market is changing? Inventory is down.
Hi, Harry Glanz and Danberg for Capital Mortgage Funding. We do loans everywhere. In Southfield, in Birmingham, in Royal Oak, in Groseal, in Detroit, in Canton, in Northville. No matter where you live, we want to do your mortgage too. That's Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.
All righty, welcome back to the show, 9:31. Good morning. If you're just listening, it's the Hardcore Mortgage Show. Get out there, enjoy the day. First, call that and get that approval letter at Capital Mortgage, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. You're going to save a ton of money, really learn how to buy a house. The best mortgage banker, 1-800-LOW-RATE, right here in Southfield. Also live here in the studio, 248-539-9797. We've got a lot to get to. The lean inventory out there.
Not lean inventory. Stop.
To appease my friend Alex Nefouse, Freddie Mac pointed out that it's tighter in some local markets, 4 to 6 months throughout the nation. But of course, you can back me up on this, Sherry. 2 to 3 months supply here locally, and homes are coming. Look, they're coming off the market real quickly if they're in great condition. We'll talk a little bit about staging and all the other things out there. But if you're looking to buy a house, be sure to give us a phone call here, and we'll get you approved and set up with some of the top agents here in Southeast Michigan. Sherry's definitely one of them. Hey, let's move on to some calls. We've got Rick out there calling in. Good morning, Rick. Thanks for calling. Go ahead.
Good morning. I just wanted to commend one of your loan officers based on everything you guys are talking about. We assembled a plan, and we were able to get the property of our dreams in 28 days.
Oh, fantastic.
Wow, 28 days, that's really good.
Tell us who you worked with from our office.
Ron Jacobs.
Ronnie J. Yeah, Ronnie's over a 20-year veteran in the mortgage industry. Ronnie does a solid job. He's a very, very hard worker, and he probably sat down with you in person and explained everything to you.
Well, he did. He definitely went through the whole process with us, got us the pre-approval letters. This is a guy that went on vacation and stayed with us, in contact with us during that whole time to make sure that this process happened.
So that must have been just recently because he just got back from vacation. Ronnie never takes a vacation, but he went out to Boston to visit his son.
And we are brought to you by Kowalski. Tiger baseball tonight right here on 97.1 The Ticket. First pitch is 7:05 from Baltimore. Drew Verhagen against Wade Miley. 51-57 the Tigers' record stands after their fourth win in a row, matching a season high. Justin Verlander pacing it, and a Justin Upton grand slam, his third grand slam of the year, give the Tigers a 5-2 victory. Meanwhile, University of Michigan hires Luke Yaklich and DeAndre Haynes as assistant basketball coaches. They also promote Chris Hunter to director of basketball operations. L.A. Dodgers, 45 games over 500 now at 77-32 on the heels of their 6-0 win over the Mets in New York last night, paced by Yu Darvish. Latest acquisition, throwing 7 shutout innings, and the Miami Dolphins say knee surgery definitely an option for quarterback Ryan Tannehill, who banged up his knee in training camp. At the Ticket Update desk, I'm Jeff Lesson. For more, 97.1theticket.com.
Detroit Tigers manager Brad Osmus talks with Jamie and Stoney every week to take you around the diamond on 97.1 The Ticket.
Welcome back to the show, 9:33 on this gorgeous day outside. You're listening to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. Give us a call, Capital, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. Always live in the studio at 248-539-9797. We got some calls to get to. We've got tons of information to still share with you. Let's move out to Farmington and Tiffany. Hey, Tiffany, good morning. Welcome to our show.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Good. What's up?
So we're doing a new build. Completion looks like mid-September, but not, of course, sure. Just curious about timing as far as putting our house up for sale in Farmington. We're a little, we don't want to move twice, of course, and just heard you guys talking earlier about, a lot of people like to move into the summer before school year starts and worried that the market might dip a little in the fall. So we're just worried about waiting, or should we throw it up quickly, and what kind of contingencies can we put on the listing to let buyers know that we might not be able to give occupancy right away.
You can actually negotiate possession time. So for example, you can put in there that you're going to need possibly 45 days of occupancy before your house is ready to the new build's finished.
Up to 60. To 60.
Yeah, Lee, what are you saying?
Yeah, so the biggest thing with...
Did you hear the question?
I didn't hear my radio.
Tiffany, I'm going to repeat your question for Lee because his headphones are a little messed up right now. She's building a new house, and she wants to know when to list her home relative to occupancy and the completion of the new build.
And the new build is supposed to be done mid-September.
Correct.
Yeah, and so like every other new construction, supposed to be is a key word. So it's the type of thing where we want to sit down and we want to have a game plan in advance. But basically, again, it depends. You can absolutely negotiate delayed occupancy. You can absolutely negotiate anything else that you need to do to protect yourself, because that's all we care about is protecting yourself. The only thing I will say is that sometimes when you negotiate that stuff in, we do lose a little bit of strength because you need something now versus if you can do whatever you want. So what we typically do in a situation like this is we take the photos, we get the house ready, we remind you that the market is a moving target, so that purchase price will go up or down slightly. But we basically just have a plan, and we typically talk about 50 days, 60 days beforehand so that we are ready to go. Because if you do find that house and you say, you know what, we can move twice, or we can do other things, or we can do this occupancy, and it doesn't matter if we shake every last penny out of that buyer's pockets, then you should be okay.
Yeah, Tiffany, I would tell you this, and Lee, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I think she should get her house ready to go, put it on the market, see what happens, what kind of activity she gets. And by that time, it's going to be mid to late August anyways. And then she'll have, 30, 45 days. The house is probably going to be done, let's just say at the latest, mid-October, so a month after, 30 days after. And I think it falls right into the window that she's looking for.
Yeah.
So what's the, I guess, kind of normal time, let's say from, when an offer is accepted, if we just let things kind of go as they normally do as far as, contract and mortgage closing, what would that time frame be?
I'm going to go right in the middle. I'm going to go right in the middle. I mean, we can do it. You can do it in 30 days. You can do it in 60 days. But I'm going to tell you it's a 45-day thing.
Yeah, 30 to 45 days is what that family would normally want to close. And again, this time of year, as Lee mentioned, they might want to get their kids into that school. Now, on many occasions, just having closed on the transaction and maybe even just having a purchase agreement would be enough if that family has to enroll children in school. And that's pretty important, of course, this time of year. But again, I think one of the things, Lee, and unless I'm wrong about this, just because you have your house on the market and there's several offers coming in, you don't have anything that says you have to accept any offer.
Yeah.
You can hold off on that and tell that family, you could pick them out, Lee, and then negotiate with their agent the terms and everything involved.
Yeah, so there's a couple timelines that we have to hit, but then there's a bunch we can move around. So again, yes, we have the ability with this mortgage company to close in 30 days, but we say 45 days. Then we have the ability to give possession at closing or delay that occupancy. Okay. And again, day one, someone says, here's a full price offer for all cash, take it. You could say, no, I'm going to kind of wait around and see what else comes out there. So so we have a lot of options as long as we discuss those up front. And then if that builder, by some miraculous act of God, is the best guy ever and completes your house early.
You mean like you?
Yeah. So basically me in a builder form.
Right.
Not as handsome, obviously. Then, we have some moves that we can do.
Dresses like Chalky White from Boardwalk Empire.
Yeah, wear your sunglasses. But outside of that, we're good.
Yeah, Tiffany, I think you're in the driver's seat.
We'll climb.
Tiffany's in the driver's seat because she's the seller. And because there's a lack of quality homes on the market, she's going to be not dictating, I hate to use that word, she's going to be in control. She's in the driver's seat. Yeah, so I don't think she should be as afraid as I think that she is sounding, because she's waiting on the builder, but she should get that ball. She should get that ball rolling. I really do.
Ultimately, Harry, it's about not doing that two-move. No one wants to do the two-move thing, and that's what, at the end of the day, that's what it ends up being. But if the worst-case scenario is that you have to throw your stuff in one of those pods or whatever, and then move somewhere temporarily, I don't see that happening.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah, it won't happen in this case. Houses like hers would probably go off the market quickly. So definitely move forward.
And the last thing I just want to say, because I can hear that hesitation in your voice, I can hear that nervousness. We talked about the roller coaster earlier. That's for me to experience, not you. So when we sit down and we talk about it, we take all that stress off your plate and all those problems off your plate, and it's between me and my team to do all the stuff that sucks and is frustrating. So be encouraged. This should be the fun part, leveling up to your dream home.
I think it's cool that you said taking the stress off of the client. Let us worry about that. That's what we get paid to do. And unfortunately, to a detriment to us, a lot of times people don't know what we've done for them. I mean, you have a tough file that you just complete rock star for clients sometimes, and they have no idea the hoops we have to jump through.
Sometimes.
And they complain.
You mean somebody that's self-employed, that has 15 different businesses, has all these tax returns, schedules, are moving money around left and right. You need accountant letters, you need everything you need, and then they just want to close when they want to close.
Yeah, and by the way, I don't care if they move money around. Neither does Harry, but who cares? Fannie Mae cares.
Yeah, just show me.
The underwriters.
The underwriters care.
Show me where it went.
I'm just the middle guy delivering the news.
Yeah.
All right. If you're just tuning in, of course, it's the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. Try us all weekend long at Capital, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. Of course, here live in the studio, 248-539-9797. With all this built-in equity, you folks out there, you listeners, yes, if you bought your house in the last several years, you probably have some built-in equity, and many of you are taking advantage of refinancing your home to benefit your situation. Take the equity out to consolidate debt, to consolidate the first and second mortgage. Again, maybe you're paying off some very high toxic debt out there. As you all know, we still get to write off the interest. The interest is deductible, so sometimes taking a higher mortgage and paying off that toxic debt is really going to get you that much further in life. So take the steps ahead of time. Nationally, Lee, actually 37 days on the market was the information the National Association of Realtors put out last week. 37 days, the time from it goes on the market till it actually sells. Now, that doesn't mean close. So here, if it's a hot area, a hot market, Lee, you put the house up, let's say, even this weekend. Probably this coming week, you're going to have a few offers. Is that pretty much what you can expect?
You are in my wheelhouse right now. So here is the thing. The traditional real estate model is what's keeping your house in the market 37 days. If a realtor puts a sign in the yard, he puts it on the MLS, and he prays somebody sees it, you are going to languish. The price of your house will either go up or down. It will not do both. So what we do is we have this crazy new thing. We just developed it. It's called a strategy. And we actually have a plan in place to get
I love sarcasm and condescending humor. I love that.
Well, and it's
I'm
crazy.
all about that.
There should be a sarcasm font because some of the emails I send, people come back with guns blazing at me. I'm like, whoa.
Please explain.
Yeah, so the crazy part is the model that we currently use for real estate, the MLS was invented in the 1800s. So there's a lot of realtors that do the exact same thing to sell your house that they would have done during the Civil War. Instead of that, this strategy I'm talking about, this crazy new thing, we're going to have a plan where we do a coming soon listing on Zillow. Zillow is owned by Trulia, so they share everything. So if you post a coming soon listing, people are going to see that house and say, holy crap, there's a new house in the market. We've been looking in the sub forever. Finally. They get excited. They call their realtors or they call me. They get buzz going. Then we're going to go live on a Thursday with a pending open house either that Saturday or Sunday. That way, like you've lost out on deals, everybody else has lost out on houses. They know they have to put an offer in before that open house or they're going to lose again.
Lee, some of those sites that you mentioned, I don't want to say the name again. I'm with you on it. I like that plan, and I like different aspects of that plan. But you go on to some of these sites now you're dealing with strangers. You plug in, all of a sudden you click one button, you have strangers all across the United States sending you information, telling you you're approved this and that. They know nothing about the industry. You're dealing also with unqualified real estate agents. Potentially, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with a new agent. I'm saying there's something wrong with not being qualified to really educate somebody on this process. And buying a house, there's a lot of moving parts, as we always say. So sometimes are you opening yourself up to dealing with these strangers? I mean, I have to send a sort of a warning out there to people. You start calling around or clicking buttons, bad things can happen quickly.
Yeah, and a lot of those websites, real estate search engines that are third parties, they are designed to make money. So make no mistake, they're not there to help you out or give you information or any of these other boasts. They're there to make money. They get money by capturing your information.
Yeah, Lee, I think it's a double-edged sword. I like the activity part. I like you're putting it on the market. I like all the marketing aspects of it. But when you cast that wide net and you throw it out there, you're going to get some bad fish. Okay, you're going to get some bad ones. So while I understand it, and I think you're trying to do, and you are doing what's best for the homeowner and the seller, you're going to sift through a lot of bad fish. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, all right, we got lots to share with you here. Keep it on 97.1 The Ticket. We'll be right back.
If you're tired of watching...
Hi, Harry Glanz and Dan Bird for Capital Mortgage Funding. We do loans everywhere. In Southfield, in Birmingham, in Royal Oak, in Groseal, in Detroit, in Canton, in Northville. No matter where you live, we want to do your mortgage too. That's Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.
Welcome back to the show, 947. It's the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. Always live in the studio, 248-539-9797.
Facebook Live.
We are on Facebook Live. Always like us on Facebook Live.
What does that mean
Check
when
us
you're on
out.
Facebook Live?
It means you can go to Hardcore Mortgage Show and be a friend to us, and then you start getting the feed.
Is it on the Capital Mortgage Funding Facebook page?
You can find it there also, Harry. Again,
Okay, so we got
we're
the
a little behind technology-wise,
So what
just
do
you
we
and I.
have?
You can find us anywhere out there. We're on Twitter. I even think we're now on Instagram.
These
I
are
think
setup questions.
We're on Instagram?
These are called setup questions.
Hey, let's go out to Bob out there in Auburn Hills. Good morning, Bob. Welcome to our show, sir.
Hello.
Bob, what's up, man?
Yeah, hi. I'm trying to get some help, trying to get a loan so I could finish working on a home that I bought.
Okay.
It's under construction. The house is not currently lived in, and work has already begun, and I'm having trouble trying to secure a loan so I can get a contractor come in and help me finish the job.
I have a great product for you where we can actually there's an as-is value and a subject-to value. So we do an appraisal based on the value as it is right now before the construction is complete, and then we have a subject-to value. So you tell the appraiser and the contractor what you're going to do, and then we appraise it based on that. And You get the money that way. It's
yeah,
easy.
plans and specs. We see the whole deal.
It's fairly simple.
What's the place going to be worth when it's all done?
I don't know, maybe $450.
And what do you got into it right now?
How much am I into it right now? Probably about $275.
And how much more do you need, money-wise?
I'm hoping to try to get it done with about $150 more.
Huh.
At least
I was hoping you were going to say less.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense mathematically.
No, from a loan point of view, right? So I still have some money, but not enough to finish.
Well, okay, but here's the thing. So if you got $250 into it now,
and another $150, so at the end of the day, if you're $400,
and it's worth how much you say at the end?
It might be worth $450. What city is the house in, and how many square feet is it?
It's in Auburn Hills, Michigan.
And what school district is that going to be? Is that Avondale? Is it Pontiac?
I believe it's Pontiac School District.
We got to do a little research on that. I mean, I have a product for you. I don't know if we can get you $100,000, but I mean, we can definitely get you.
Inside story on your Detroit Pistons on Pistons Weekly with your host, Kyle Bogey, Thursday nights at 8 on 97.1 The Ticket.
All righty, welcome back to the show. Man, it's gorgeous outside. Yeah, it's still summertime, believe it or not, even though it was 50-some degrees last night. Good sleeping weather.
I was going to say, I slept well.
I bet you did. You're just crawling out of bed and all that. 947, the Hardcore Mortgage Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. Absolutely gorgeous outside. This is why we live here in Southeast Michigan. Get out there, enjoy the lakes, always be safe. Hit the ball straight if you're on the links. And Harry, you got something to share.
Joe, our resident LO here, he's expert. He's a loan officer expert. He brings Lee in the office last week, right? Because we like to meet the people that we're going to have on the show. So Lee right away comes out of the box swinging. He comes out hard. We like that. So we figured he'd be a perfect guest on the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show because Lee's the kind of guy that tells it like it is. He doesn't fool around. You ask him a question, he gives you an answer. We like that. One of the most dangerous things anybody could ever say to me is, "So Harry, what do you think?"
Yeah.
So don't be prepared for the answer. Lee strikes me as that kind of guy. I like it. As a matter of fact, when you ask a guy a question, he gives you an answer. Or he's not going to BS you. He'll tell you, "I don't know. I'll find out for you."
I don't think being filterless is a terrible thing. Some people.
I need one.
I'm not saying to fire off random emails, Harvey Freed. But I mean, I think it's good to tell people flat out, listen, your credit's not good. It's going to be a tough deal. I'm going to need a lot of documentation. I'm not going to lie to you.
So, Lee, when you walk into a house and you're listing a house, we talked about this before the show, and you see a house that isn't in the shape that you want it to be in, because, again, it's your reputation on the line.
Yeah.
You don't want to list a house that doesn't look good, right?
Correct.
What do you do?
Well, the biggest thing, you guys all said it's no BS. Tell them up front what the deal is. Obviously, you got to sugarcoat it. You got to deliver it the right way. But you told me your goal was to net the most amount of money possible from the sale. Is that correct? Yes. Well, then here's how we're going to do that. We're going to polish this up. We're going to paint some walls. We're going to put some mulch in the yard, whatever it needs to do, so that we arm them with the correct information to make an informed decision. I'm not just coming there and, your house sucks. I can't sell it for what I need. That's like the lawyer who only takes the cases he's 100% sure he can win.
Right.
That's not what we're about. We're about meeting your goals. But you told me your goal was to net top dollar. So here's the only way we can do that.
So that's great. You got a plan.
And somebody might have to invest some money in paint, wallpaper, whatever they have to do to that house to make it look good. And as Harvey Freed would say, you have to stage that property correctly.
Make it sweet. Make it look good. Joe, what do you got?
Question for you. So this is a real-life situation last weekend, open house. They got a lot of feedback from one of the open houses, and it was with another real estate agent, and the feedback was that the house was a little smelly. So what would you do in that circumstance?
So if you get multiple people saying the same thing, obviously it's an issue, right?
Wait, what did it smell like?
Yeah.
Was it pets?
Well, it's usually moldy.
It was moldy, yes. It was
Okay,
the basement.
Yeah, and so the smell matters. You find the source of it. If it is a smelly, moldy basement, it might not be just something where you're going to cover it up, right? That could be a legitimate problem. So we have to send in a guy to investigate if it's mold, if it's that. Really what we do is we just talk about, okay, let's take a seat, let's sit back. This house didn't sell in a super hot market. This is the feedback we're all getting. And if we've had cat problems, we've had dog problems, we've had all this stuff, and we have to address the issue right now. We can't ignore it. We can't beat around it.
Can you just like a Glade plug-in or something?
No, it can be. You're pulling floorboards sometimes. I mean, it can get really bad. Hey, let me throw this out
my
there.
house smells good. I don't understand.
You take care of it. Natalie takes care of it. I want to throw this out there. Capital's Affinity Program. Bobby Efros runs it at our office. Bobby's an awesome guy. If you're out there and you own a company, you work for a company, an organization, an association, we have a great program for you. It doesn't cost you anything at all. It's a benefit package. We basically will offer discounted closing costs for your office. Capital's Affinity Program. It's really great. We help save a lot of families money, and not only that, they get the service that they really deserve on their mortgage. Again, saving money is one thing, but having a flawless process, making that purchase the most expensive thing you're going to buy in your house, and having it go smooth is really key. Be sure to call Capital Mortgage Funding. Find out more about it. Again, our affinity program will help save your clients money and add value to your employees. So definitely give us a call if you're out there and you're a small business owner or even a large business owner. We'll take care of you. Also, a quick shout out to a couple of my people. I can't use last names. Frank, who always listens to the show out on the west side near Grand Rapids out in Belmont. Frank, you're my buddy. Thanks for coming back to me for your refinance.
Hey, Frank, Harvey talks about you all the time, man.
He's a great guy.
He goes, Frank from Grand Rapids? I go, I know Frank from Grand Rapids because you have a man crush on him. That's why.
I was going to make that joke. I didn't want to take hate mail.
He was a baseball guy. Didn't he have a son who was a stud baseball player?
I think he has a relative that I think is a stud baseball player. But anyways, you come in my office, Frank from Grand Rapids. I'm like, okay, Harv, take it easy.
We like when people will call us, and we do handle mortgages on the other side of the state. And again,
by the way, this is how it's like in the office, too.
Well, to be honest, if having a crush on Harvey's wrong, I don't really want to be right.
Hey, that's right. Nice. I've heard that song over the years, too.
But Lee, what actually came up this week, too, I got a few calls from clients that have purchased in the past. No names needed, but a gentleman who bought out in Higgins Lake, and a lot of families now back taking a look. I mean, it's been so gorgeous this year. Families back up, moving up north, taking a look at that vacation home, that second property. You can buy a vacation home for as little as 10% down. So again, a lot of families still out there thinking they need all this money to buy a home. Put two families together, 10% down will buy you your up north escape, which is really cool. You don't have to put down an investment property. If you're going to be renting it out, you're buying it for those purposes. That requires a larger down payment, 20% or more, but just 10% down to potentially buy your own piece of paradise up north. Have you ever met anyone who didn't feel good after spending a few days up north? Unless you get stuck on 75.
It depends what you shoot, Harvey.
I was with my ex-in-laws one time up north.
It depends what you shoot both ways.
Not well. Hence ex-in-laws.
One of the other things, Lee, I want to bring up, we talked about on the phone, owning a house leads to happiness because it adds stability in families' lives, a better sense of security for your family. Happy wife makes happy life. Lee, there's something to be said about this.
There's everything to be said about it. I mean, it's the type of thing where it's a whole life situation. It's just like you can't just do biceps all day and try to be healthy and eat garbage. You have the whole body approach. That's what it is for real estate. That's what it is for your finances. And the number one cause of wealth building is owning a house. Ask any single person in the world. I'm not the only guy making this up because, believe it or not, I'm a sales guy who sells houses. That's how you start. That's the core. It's the foundation. And from there, that's where your marriage gets happier. It's where your singleness gets happier. I mean, bring those single girls back to your awesome baller mansion. You're going to do well.
So he's had a golf reference, a golf reference, a bicep reference, and then single girls back to your awesome mansion.
Don't please. Anybody listening, that's
HGlanz at LuridOnline.com. I did not say anything this show.
Please.
I mean, this is perfect.
Great.
You got to come on more often. Take some heat off of me.
And then I'll throw this out there real quick. Still a seller's market, obviously, in Southeast Michigan due to the fact that we're looking at about a 2 to 3 month worth of inventory out there. A healthier supply of inventory is more like 5 to 6 months out there. As we continuously say on the show, the competition is stiff to get your offer accepted. Please get your plan together. Deal with us, deal with more professionals. Please comment on that, Lee.
Yeah, because, even when people think, okay, I'm going to buy a house, I need to talk to the experts, I need to talk to my lender, all that type of stuff. I'm going to sell a house, I'm good. Well, not necessarily, because do you know how much you're going to net from that sale? Do you know how much you still owe on your mortgage? Do you know if there's any concessions you need? Is there anything that you need to do? Like that last caller said, well, we might have to have some delayed occupancy. Well, that costs you. That's not always free. So there's a lot of stuff that you need to talk to a professional about, your portfolio, talk to your financial advisor, all those things. If you're going to level up, level down, retire out of state, whatever you're going to do, let's chat about that stuff we got to think about before you pull the trigger.
All right.
You got to put a good team together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the key. A little reminder out there also, we had it pop up a few times. Yeah, if you're looking at purchasing a house and obtaining a mortgage, you don't want to go out and buy a car right now. You don't want to increase your debt to income ratios. So again, be very careful out there and always call the experts at Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE. That's the best mortgage banker. That's going to do it for another show of ours.
Hey, Dan, why are we getting thrown off the air?
Dan, real quick, we'll call you right after the show, buddy. So, yeah, I got your number. I'll copy the show. We're out of time. But
yeah, I'll call you right back. I want to thank Lee Ehlers from Remerica United out there in Livonia area. And again, Lee, thank you. You're awesome. We'll have you back. Also, Joe from our office, Joseph, we'll have you back on for Harry Glanz, Alex Nefouse. I'm Harvey Freed. We'll see you next Harry. We got Pat Caputo coming up with sports and social commentary. Keep it here on 97.1.
Hi, Harry Glanz and Dan Burke for Capital Mortgage Funding. We do loans everywhere. In Southfield, in Birmingham, in Royal Oak, in Grosse Ile, in Detroit, in Canton, in Northville. No matter where you live, we want to do your mortgage too. That's Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.